So, turns out Hina's absolutely fine. I have to admit, very nice, I got completely and utterly trolled by Danganronpa 3. As soon as I'd finished recording the audio for the first part, I then watched the next 4 episodes, immediately realising that a big chunk of the last video was a complete waste of time, very nice. But I'm happy though, Hina's still with us for now at least. Yes, Hina wakes up, as do Makoto and Wheelchair Girl. But unfortunately, Bullboy does not wake up. He is like I can't quite work out what's happened to him, but he looks pretty wrecked though. He's like hanging from the ceiling, and so we've lost Bullboy. I'm wondering if ever in a Danganronpa we're going to have a very strong character survive, because obviously they often send a message like saying, wow, who could have done this sort of thing, you know, which obviously what we've got here is like who could have actually, you know, suspended him from the ceiling like that. So we have Kayako and her grandfather. I think I might actually be getting that wrong, guys. Is that her grandfather? I need to go back and watch my Ultra Despair Girls gameplay to find out, because her family is meant to be like wants to have nothing to do with her father, right? I thought that was her whole gig, but she decided to try and track him down. I could be wrong there, I guess. And obviously, the person who appears, the alter animator, I'll say, because I'm still very confused about his positioning. Makoto then travels to a place where they can speak to the entire. It's like the PA system where he can talk over speakers to everyone and say, "Hey, I'm not a bad guy here." And he also reveals his weakness as well. I think I might be jumping ahead a little bit, but we also find out Wheelchair Girl's weakness. She can't turn right, which is actually a very clever weakness for her to have. And Hina's is that she can't be punched or kicked. I got a really bad feeling that at some point someone's going to fist bump her. As soon as I found that, I thought, oh, that's definitely going to happen. Maybe Kayako's going to go, hey, good for you, or something like that, and boom, death. I really hope that doesn't happen. I think that's it when it comes to the weaknesses that we learn, just those 3. Kayako says, hey, to the animator, if you want to reveal your secret, then I'll reveal mine. I think that's what she said. Or maybe she said that she couldn't. Very interested to find out Kayako's, because I think it's obvious that hers is going to be the most significant in the storyline. We shall see, though. We see. I gotta say, guys, I think possibly my favourite of the new characters now is the ultimate chemist. I think she's really awesome. Not just because of when she turned into a massive crazy cat person, but I just think that she's a really cool character. We see a bit of her in the Despair arc in a bit. Like I say, so Makoto makes the announcement, and Yuna Akami and the ultimate boxer listen to it but don't believe it, and so Yuna Akami goes off to handle Makoto. Obviously, yeah, we will discuss that later on. We have the ultimate chemist with the ultimate, oh, not chocolatier, what's the term? Dessert maker. I can't remember what the term is. And the ultimate blacksmith, which is a very cool ultimate to have. I should say they're not ultimates, they're high level, I think that's what they say. But we haven't really seen that come off at any point. We haven't actually seen any parts of his blacksmithery, apart from like the weapons that he carries around. Obviously, we find out that something has happened between these 2 girls in the past, and they really don't trust each other. And then the chemist one gets more and more frustrated until she drinks some sort of potion that she has. I think I may have said that it would be cool to have like an ultimate alchemist before in one of the live streams. I think I may have said that. Chemist, same thing. Downs this potion, turns into a massive cat, apparently. Yeah, I actually really like her. I really like her. I reckon that she's going to be popular. I'm going to ask you guys who your favourite character of the new characters is. In the future arc specifically. Hat Boy watches it all happen and says, I need to go and meet with her. Interesting. And then Yuna Akami turns up behind Makoto, and I'm trying to understand the logic. He's basically like saying that he uses power and violence to get hope, rather than just like do what Makoto does, which is literally the complete opposite. It's his ultimate pacifism. And apparently slashes at him, and that's the end of the episode, guys. I wonder if Makoto's dead. we'll find out in a moment. Moving over to the Despair arc episode, Nights, and this is a storyline which I've been wanting to hear for the longest time. It's very, very sad though, guys, and tragically realistic as well. You have Hajime in class, and this is a bit of a strange scene. I gotta say this, guys, that it's ridiculous that Fuyuhiko's sister, I should say, decides to say this to Hajime. It's like she's like Captain Exposition, like saying, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm the sister of Fuyuhiko, and I don't like one girl. No, I want to get into the class, and I know that one of the photography member, I want to get rid of her, and then the photography club." The ultimate photographer's friend turns up and starts defending Mahiro, I should be saying. It seems like a very forced scene, but I'm okay with it. I get the impression that because this is such a tangent on the storyline, it's an important tangent, obviously, but it's a bit of a tangent on the main Despair story, and they wanted to contain it into one episode. To be honest, I think they did a really good job. It's just one scene just seemed a little bit unrealistic, and then Mahiro obviously turns up to stop the fighting. So all we know is that Fuyuhiko's sister apparently is planning on doing something potentially to Mahiro, which obviously is quite scary because she's a family member of the mafia, of the Yakuza, I should be saying. And so the Mahiro's best friend takes it very, very seriously, and it's just a really sad, realistic storyline, guys. In my opinion, I don't think Gangster Girl was gonna do anything. I think that she was just mouthing off. But that can happen, guys. Things get misconstrued, and terrible, very, very sad things happen. And so, again, not much. It's because it's such a tangent. Not much of the normal storyline happened. It was all about these characters, the best friend threatening the Yakuza girl to not do anything, and then we see the police outside Hope's Peak. What is it? It's the normies school, I guess you'd say. And yeah, we see outside the music room. One thing I'm gonna really respect this episode for is that we don't see either body. So they say show don't tell. I think it's literally the opposite in this case, but it's eerie. It's eerie, the fact that all we see is the music room with the keep out signs over it, and yeah, Yakuza girl has died. I really like the fact that we didn't show it. We then see Mahiro and the best friend talking, and the best friend say, "Hey, nothing to do with me." But Hajime's overhearing it. When Mahiro goes, he confronts her about it. And she freaks out, and what is she saying? She's like saying, it isn't that she deserved, or what is it? I can't. Hajime, because Hajime has a word with the Yakuza girl just before she dies, and we're shown that she's not this really strong, scary character. She's just someone with an inferiority complex, and she wants to be good enough for her family and for her brother. And she feels like she's letting the team down because she's not in that class, which is, I really like. This is a very well done episode, guys. And the fact that it is so fast is, I respect as well. It's just that first scene, which just seemed like exposition dump, and now the episode can continue. But yeah, Hajime's like saying to the best friend that she was this girl with aspirations, and all this. And the best friend freaks out and ignores him and runs off, and it's it's a sad bit, guys, but it is, again, this is a perfect example of something that you shouldn't show. All it says is it shows Hajime in class, and it says that that girl didn't show up, she didn't show up tomorrow or the next day, and then her body was found. I respect it so much for not showing any images or like or even seeing Mahiro's initial reaction. We do see her in crying with Hayako, with like the rest of the students like looking into the classroom. we see, actually, I skipped forward a little bit. We do see Fuyuhiko checking the body of his sister, and Pico punching a wall, which is interesting. I didn't think about the fact that she would absolutely have a relationship with this girl as well. Not only because, you know, to keep Fuyuhiko happy, but also because she would have grown up with her as well. And then plot twist, guys. Hajime is furious about what appears to be a cover-up from Hope's Peak. They're not going public with what exactly happened. And he wants some answers and tries to walk in through the front gate. A guard comes up to him and says that he can't go in there. And then another guard, I believe it's the head of guards, comes in, and it is no other than the ultimate boxer, guys, from the other, from the future arc. Now, I think that's really cool. I didn't expect that to actually happen. In fact, we actually see more of the future arc getting intertwined into the spare arc a lot as we go. So, as we go on the episodes which I've seen so far, of course. So they're like arguing with each other, and the boxer's really roughing him up and like saying that he's just a normal student. He's just gonna leave this place and then go and like, you know, find a normal job and like, you know, be put in his place in the world. And then I can't call her Monica for reasons which will become obvious soon, VEGGIEKNIGHTS, but the teacher comes along. I need to learn her name. The teacher comes along and tells him to back off, and then we have a little conversation between the two. And this completely went over my head when I first watched the first few episodes of VEGGIEKNIGHTS. They're investigating something. That's why this teacher is here. She's not actually a teacher. She's there to do this investigation to see what's going on with a rising despair in a school. Obviously, we know where that's going. And then that is... Oh yes, we have a brief scene with Chiaki saying, "Hey, I've got a new game and everything," and Hajime's like saying, "I ain't got time to play the game." I should be saying that Hajime and Chiaki have been interacting outside of school hours, playing games and everything. Obviously, Chiaki's really become a lot more open up person now that she's even like the class representative. Is that the right term? So obviously, Hajime is really down about what's happened with the girl, with Fuyuhiko's sister, with what the guard said to him just then, and then we find out that, well, right at the end of the episode, that he is putting himself forward for some special test. Obviously, VEGGIEKNIGHTS, we know where that's going, for him to be the ultimate. Ultimate? Is that the best way of putting it? But yes. Really good episode. Rushed at the start. Got really, really good. And like, guys, I keep saying it. It's only a small little detail. I really respect the fact that it didn't show what it didn't need to. So the Ultimate Boxer, in the next future episode, guys, has caught up with Kayako, her grandfather, and the animator, and is attacking him. He says that he's going to deal with them whilst Yunarakami deals with Makoto, and starts throwing stuff and smashing stuff up, beats the old guy, only for the old guy to get up and be some sort of ultra god in martial arts. And so that comes out of nowhere. He absolutely decimates the boxer, and they tie him up and leave him there hanging. Hina and Wheelchair Girl meet up with Kayako and the animator. The old guy says that he's going to go and deal with Yunarakami, with Makoto. I should say, Yunarakami has put out a message over the intercom saying that he has captured Makoto. He hasn't killed him. Now, his theory there is that, now let's see if I can get this right. He believes that the person behind this wants Makoto to survive the entire thing so that despair can infiltrate, or is it get less trust in Makoto? I don't fully understand it. I think it's that he wants despair to infiltrate the hope that Future Foundation bring by keeping Makoto alive. And so Yunarakami's theory is, if he keeps Makoto captive, then it's in the interest of the enemy, the despair person, to try and rescue him. And who comes and tries to rescue him? The old guy. And so they have this crazy fight. One thing I'm going to say, and it kind of annoys me, guys, because you know how much I love Pico. This guy's obviously really good with a sword, Yunarakami. But on the intro to the first episode, when it shows all the remnants of despair, it shows him sword fighting with Pico. That doesn't make sense because she is the ultimate sword fighter, which means that she would be able to defeat anyone, right? That kind of bothered me, but it's only a small thing. I still like this Yu Narukami character. As the old guy and Yu Narukami fighting, they rescue Makoto and get him out of there. Obviously, they put him on the back of the wheelchair so they can go faster. Hat Person meets up with Kayako and the animator, who are looking over the body of the teacher. I can't say Monica anymore for a reason that will become very obvious very, very soon. We touch in briefly with Cat Girl chasing. Damn! I knew the word before I started recording this episode, and I can't remember what it is. It starts with C, doesn't it? Delicatessen? No, that's not doesn't start with C. Whatever it is. Only briefly, and she's like smashing through this metal door. So obviously she is extremely powerful. Then we end up with the old guy and Yu Narukami fighting. They both fall off a bridge, and the old guy gets impaled on a metal rod coming out of a bit of rubble. He seems okay-ish with it. I'm guessing he's dead. I don't know. We might still be alive for all I know. He seems to be some sort of like unkillable god at the moment, and so we'll find out next time. So yeah, and Yu Narukami appears to be okay, but they discuss a little bit about hope. And Yu Narukami is an interesting character because he's not like sticking his ears and fingers in the ears, like saying blah 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 blah, ignore your theories. Kind of like Nagato in a way in Danganronpa 2, I should say. Whereas this, he seems to actually be learning and at least listening to other people. So I find that really interesting about him. Then we get back to the boxer guy who is still chasing after Hina and Wheelchair Girl. Wheelchair Girl says that she'll take care of him. Fires these massive rockets at him, which is just incredible. He survives. There's a lot of surviving on this, guys. There's a lot of people with really, really, really bad things happening to them, but they're still alive. You know, I'm fine with it, though. I'm willing to be taken for a ride in this way. The boxer guy survives it, is able to, what does he do? Does he charge her? I think he charges her before she can set off some massive attack, and knocks the wheelchair over and goes chasing after Hina, obviously for some reason leaving Wheelchair Girl there. I guess, yeah, no, Hina was in the first Danganronpa and potentially involved in what happened with what happened to the remnants of despair leading into Danganronpa 2. So I guess he would be after her more than the Wheelchair Girl. And we get close up to Wheelchair Girl's eye. Her eye goes whoop, 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 like a camera lens, and it turns out that she's being controlled by Monica VEGGIEKNIGHTS. That's why I can't say Monica anymore and say Monica is in this. I kind of expected her to not be in this. I kind of expected her to be in Danganronpa V3, but no, she's actually here controlling Wheelchair Girl. I don't think that necessarily means that she is the Blackened in this situation. Maybe she is. She was in the room with Bullboy. But I think it's a bit early for that to be revealed if that is the case, and so we shall find out, presumably, maybe next episode, so. But Monica is involved in this, though, guys, and she's obviously grown a bit, so I don't know how many years this is after Ultra Despair Girls, but it should have been pretty shortly after it, though. Right? It would have to... No, hang on. Ultra Despair Girls, Danganronpa 2... No. I'm being stupid. Danganronpa 2 happened after Ultra Despair Girls, so... Good episode. Not much happens in this future episode. There's a lot of dialogue and everything. I'm not complaining, but the despair arc seems to really be going at it with storyline. Moving over to the fourth episode. The class is clearly obviously down about what's happened with Yuhigo's sister and My Hero's best friend and so on and so forth. They don't really have their normal energy, but there is an important exam coming up, an exam which could actually get them kicked out of the class if they don't do good enough, which they're not all very happy about. We also see these wanted dead or alive posters for a doggo, which obviously becomes relevant fairly soon. Nagato speaks to their headmaster, the teacher I should say, saying, "Hey, we need some time off before we have these exams. We're all kind of down. We're gonna underperform, and that's not good for anyone." And the teacher says, "Well, we got media arriving for it and everything like that." This is actually like like an event that these exams are, which is a nice touch. And so Nagato like has to leave, like say okay, no problem, but as he closes the door says okay, we'll move over to plan B. So this is obviously a very Nagato centric episode, but I don't mind it though, guys. I like this Nagato. Obviously it will change as the episodes go on. And we have Nagato gives Tsuru this magazine with what does it say on it? It's a magazine. It's like a photo shoot thing for Sayaka, which is nice. I hope we do see more of the Danganronpa 1 characters, because it's interesting that I know we couldn't really have like a school life with the Danganronpa 1 characters because nothing would really happen. So it'd be nice to see more stuff like this. Obviously, we've heard about Celeste. We got Sayaka here. Fantama. Whatever it is, it's a magazine that Tsuru has been wanting for ages. Apparently, it's really, really rare. Nagato's obviously done this for a favor, and the favor that he wants is that he wants. What does he want? I can't remember what he wanted from Tsuru. Balls. Either way, we then go from Nagato to the Ultimate Chemist, guys, who is absolutely adorable in the Despair arc. Her voice is so soft in the English dub. I like this Ultimate Chemist more than the future one, but you know, I like them both though. I do actually really like this character. So Nagato, for some reason, is after some sort of laxative at night. We don't know yet why yet, but she twists her arm and says, and she says, okay, it's a top shelf on the right, you can't miss. Then we have a knocking at the door, and the dessert girl and blacksmith come on. I gotta say, guys, the color palette of these characters is drastically different than I actually expected them. Even with like the security, the boxer guy, I thought his hair was brown, whereas apparently it's green. But because the future arc is so dark, you can't actually see what these characters actually really look like. But obviously they're a lot younger here as well. The dessert girl wants some sort of steroid, I guess the term is, to put in her desserts for the exam, to give like people a real buzz when they're eating their meal. The alchemist is really against giving her anything like this, but she really is twisting arm, like saying we're besties and all this sort of stuff to really put pressure on her. We also find out that the ultimate alchemist never tries her sweets, which is interesting, guys. I think there might be a reason for that. And why she keeps on feeding this blacksmith more and more treats like that. I think she may have put something in them. Whilst this is happening, Nagato is taking the bottle out. Oh, the bottle that the dessert girl wants is right next to this bottle. Typically, as Nagato's going to get it, he slips on the stair ladder. And he goes falling with both bottles coming down as well. Obviously, he's very, very lucky, so he's able to catch them both. Now, the problem with the alchemist, mate, I'm going to sneeze. She says, oh, well, the correct term is reanimator, actually. Now, this is where she is probably a mistake doing that, but she's using terms which people don't commonly use. So, Nagato doesn't know which one it is, despite the fact that they're very, very different colours. And so he takes the potion that the dessert girl wants, and the dessert girl takes the laxative. As soon as that happens, it's like, oh god, what the heck is going to happen here? And so, yes, moving on. We then have Nagato and the chemist girl walking into each other. They drop their bags. And this is all part of Nagato being this ridiculously lucky student to a fault, to the point where it can be... things can go his way, but in a really bad way. And so I really like that. So they switch bags by accident. We then go to the dessert girl being assessed for her desserts in front of a huge crowd of press. There's a panel of 5 judges. One of them looks very, very fascinating with his face. But yes, they appear to absolutely love the dessert. They're saying that it makes them feel great, until suddenly they all instantly get stomach pains. And blacksmith and the alchemist run up to see what's going on. And yes, she's. I think the alchemist is the one who worked out exactly what's happened first. and the dessert girl is not happy, and she says that she set her up, that this was done to humiliate her, and they have this massive row over at each other. I don't think they were ever actually friends, to be honest, guys, but if they were friends, they're definitely not friends anymore. So yeah, they've both kind of been absolutely humiliated. We then cut to Nagato walking along, and with like some trays with laxative in, which presumably he's going to give to the judges, but obviously he didn't have to. It's not like laxative anyway. Spills one of them accidentally, and the dog that we saw on the warning poster earlier on comes up and laps up some of the potion and becomes a huge dog. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't understand it, guys. I mean, surely that's what would have happened if the panel had the dessert with that in. But Naruto says, well, okay, I've clearly got the wrong potion here. It's fine because I still have the detonator. Opens up the bag, expect to see a detonator, and in there are just some chemicals and stuff because they switched bags. Turns out there is a detonator in the bag that the alchemist has. I think that whilst arguing, the dessert girl and the alchemist girl fall over, setting off the detonator. The dog comes flying through the wall, and it's just absolute chaos. And so, unfortunately, alchemist, dessert girl, and blacksmith, which is a bit unfair, have all been expelled from Hope's Peak, which is bad news for them, guys. It's a real knock, obviously. Nagato, with his involvement, do they know if he was actually involved in it? I think that they couldn't. Oh no, yes, they do know. They know that he was involved in it, but because his ability is such, they want to just hush it all down, and so they can keep the lucky student in the school. But he's going to get transferred, and the teacher is going to get transferred. Oh no, he's suspended. The teacher is going to be transferred, I believe, to class. I'm not sure. She's getting transferred anyway. And the Danganronpa 2 characters are not happy about it at all. Sonia bursts into tears. There's a nice shot of like Soda not knowing what to do in the background, whilst the girl that he really loves is in tears. There's a lot of nice little stuff like that in the Despair arc, guys. So yeah, she's gone now, guys. I think she's going to Hachime's class. I could be right. And yeah, there's a nice little phone call between her and Yu Narukami at the end, where she's like saying how, I know that I'm here for an investigation, but I really want those students to do well. And so it's a really nice little scene, actually. And the sad thing is that we know that it doesn't go well. I think that's the reason why it feels particularly sad, because we're seeing this after the fact. But yes, she's been moved. I'm not sure where she has gone, if she's gone to Hachime's class or not. Obviously, we'll find that out next time. So that's the next 4 episodes, guys. Really, really enjoying it, as always. I'm kind of dreading the future ones and really looking forward to the Despair ones. Dreading because I don't want the characters to die, obviously. In the Despair, at least we know that these characters survive, apart from potentially Chiaki, of course. But yes, guys, I'll try and get through these as fast as possible. I'm so sorry for the delay in this. Things have been all over the place recently, guys, for me. If you come to my live streams, I've been talking about it a lot lately, and so getting these out in good time has been very, very difficult. But after we get this, we will be then moving over to Danganronpa V3, and yeah, really looking forward to. I'm just enjoying it. I don't want to say I'm looking forward to anything. I'm really enjoying what we're doing right now, and so I will try and get to you the next episode as soon as possible. Please like and subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm VEGGIEKNIGHTS, and I'll see you next time.